All right, so this is Anil Shah. I'm the managing partner at CloudFronts, and I have here with me Sailesh. He's a senior Dynamics field service engineer. So today's session is on Dynamics 365 Field Service integrated solution. So we're going to go through some aspects of the new Dynamics 365 Field Service. We're going to talk about the integration with operations, and then we can, if you guys have any questions, you can ask. A couple of housekeeping items. If you have any questions, you are muted, but you can type into the questions that you have on the GoToMeeting pane or the GoToWebinar pane, and we'll answer them now, or we'll take them for later on, and we'll make sure that you answer them. At the end of the session, or before tomorrow, you'll have both the recording as well as the PowerPoint deck available on our website. So with that, let's get started. Just give me a second. All right, so to this agenda, we're going to focus a little bit about on what CloudFronts does. We're going to look at the demo. We're going to focus, a big chunk of today's demo is going to be focused on the new field service features and some Power BI, and then looking at that, while some part of the demo is going to focus on the integration piece. Then we're going to go through any Q&A. So about CloudFronts, we're about 4.5 years old. We focus on Dynamics 365, Power BI, and Azure. About 50 or so odd people focused on doing these technologies. And we have, of course, clients around the world, predominantly US, Europe, and Australia. So we are a gold cloud partner for Microsoft. We are a global cloud platform partner, and we are silver on all the other partnerships that we see here. Some of the verticals we focus on, so we work across different customers around the globe on different verticals, professional services, field services, retail, and of course field services. So these are some of the customers for us around the globe, from manufacturing customers to services customers to partners from countries as far away as the Maldives to Europe to US and of course in Australia. All right, so the integrated field service solution. So we have deep expertise developing this integration. We've deployed it for partners, our customers, and what we've done is we've actually connected Dynamics 365 Field Service with operations, and we've done some good APIs, so we can look at that today using Power BI embedded to give you a feel of what you can achieve with Power BI. And then you can read more about our solution, and we have a customer success story on our website, which focuses on AX and Dynamics 365 Field Services. So these are some of the integrations we're going to focus on today at a high level. We might not be able to get to all of them because we do want to focus on the new field service offering, which Sailesh is going to walk us through. But these are the integrations that we offer, and then of course it changes based on client requirements and projects. For example, customers originate in our system from field service and go into operations, but you could be having it the other way around. And some of these are real-time, some of these are batch operations. And then we're going to go through Dynamics Field Service, work orders, incident types, all the other stuff that make up field service in Dynamics. And then we're going to go through the new schedule board, the mobile app for the technician, and then a nice Power BI dashboard to give you a feel of how you can leverage that data within your operations. All right, so let's get started. Let me now go ahead and jump into our Dynamics. So let me go look at that. All right, so I'm logged in into a company called Jubilant Services. They're in the business of providing manufacturing of universal testing machines, and they provide installation and maintenance of those services. So we'll start with first creating a brand new customer. So assume that I am a sales guy, I'm logged in, I'm going to create a new customer, it's going to go across to my operations, and then eventually going to create a sales order, and that's going to give rise to an installation service order. And then Sailesh is going to take over and talk about service orders. So let me go create a brand new customer. And I'll mention a few key things that you'll see here. Mountain Group, I'm just going to call it Mountain Group. I'm going to put in a phone number. Google is fine. So I see two company names here. The idea here being that in Dynamics 365, we can have multiple legal entities, while typically people have a single Dynamics 365 CRM system. So the sales guy can select which legal entity he wants to send across this particular customer. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to just call it a delivery address. Of course, you can have multiple delivery addresses on any customer. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and select this. And I'm going to put 1 Main Street. And Los Angeles. Okay, looks good. And the system is going to do an auto recommendation for me, which is great. So let it recommend something. I'm going to pick that up. And now we have some built-in validations. For example, we require that the company or the country name is USA, which is operations specific about that. Otherwise, CRM is going to throw up an error saying, hey, the country does not match the pre-populated list. So these are one of the first checks we do to reduce load on the system or anything getting failed. So I selected that. I also see an address which has a latitude and a longitude, so which is part of the field service side, which is this is going to eventually allow the technician who's going to look at a mobile app to pinpoint a location, map it out, create step-by-step directions to that place, which is huge for field service technicians not having to open their laptops. All right, so before I save this, I have an account number which is locked out, which is going to come from my operations. So let me go ahead and save this thing. Looks good. So I save it. When I save it, it's going to call one of my Scribe Online processes, which is a real-time map, which is going to then send across this customer into my operations near real-time. So I'll let it go ahead and save it. And a couple of other things to note. I've created a customer with the delivery address. You can, of course, have additional addresses. Typically, what happens is you have one customer, and that's going to have multiple addresses. So you're going to either go ahead and select create a multiple address inside of your Dynamics 365 CRM, or you're going to go ahead and create it and then send it across. All right, so let me jump into my operations. And I'm going to go ahead and go look at all customers. And I'm hoping my customer should be here. So I'm going to search for Mountain. I don't see it yet. It doesn't look like it's here yet. All right, so I'm just going to go back and go look at my account here. It looks like the account is saved. I want to go ahead and refresh this. And then this would give us a chance to also look at so it looks like the account hasn't gone through yet. So let's go jump into our Scribe Online. So let me go ahead and look at that. And if it doesn't go through, then we're just going to go and this is the integration event, which is called waiting for event, which is a real-time event. Let me go look at that. Let me go look at my execution history to see if it ran. All right, let's go look at all. We'll apply that. All right, so it looks like my customer has not gone through. Let me go ahead and refresh this. Okay, so let me go ahead and refresh this. Maybe it's already gone through. Okay, so it looks like the customer went through. I see the account number here, which came in from my operations. So let me go and jump back into my operations. And let me go search again for Mountain. Okay, great. So I see my Mountain group is here. Let me go ahead and open that a particular account. I can see a few things here. I can see my GUID from my Dynamics 365 CRM system. This is important because going forward when you do updates in either system, the unique IDs across each system are going to be utilized for ensuring the right record is updated. So I can see my delivery addresses here, which is great. So now we'll delve into the first aspect of field services, which is in operations, you always need a project. And what we've done is because we are using Dynamics 365 Field Service, to create ongoing service orders. So it does require projects to go across into operations. So either you can automate that process or you can manually create a project. In our case, we're just going to quickly create a project. So we're going to call it Mountain Field FS project. Looks good. I'm going to go ahead and select a project group here, the time and materials. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new project contract. So Mountain FS contract, looks good. And my funding source is, of course, the customer. So I'm going to go ahead and search for that customer. I found it. I'm going to hit OK. All right, I'm going to go ahead and create my project. So now the creation of the project itself is a manual, it's a batch process. So for the purpose of our demo, I'm just going to go ahead and run that. So let me go ahead to my solutions again. And let me go to the right page. I want to look at my solution that focuses on sending over my projects from my operations to my CRM, which is great. I'm going to run that. All right. So now my project is going to go through. While the project goes through, I'm going to focus on a couple of other things here, which is once the project comes in, then what we're going to do is we're going to then create a sales order and then send it across from my CRM into my operations. So we can actually get started while we wait for the project to come in, because the sales order does not require a project. It's a service order that requires it. All right, so let me go create a brand new sales order. So now again, I'm a sales guy. I've created a customer. It's gone into my operations. I'm going to create a sales order for selling a specific equipment, which is going to get installed as part of the service order. So I'm just going to call it as mountain installation order. Looks good. I'm going to go ahead and select a warehouse, which is going to come out of the finished goods. And I'm going to select the customer as mountain. Looks great. And I'm going to go select the price list. So now this is important because the products are also integrated back from operations into CRM. They are associated with the price list, and the unit groups are set up. So we don't have to worry about those. So here we can see that this field is blank, which is basically the ID that's going to come in from my operations. Everywhere we go, we have the IDs across each system tied into the specific record that we integrate. So then going forward, we use that for any updates, which is great. So let's go ahead and save this. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and add a product. So as I mentioned, Jubilant Services is in the business of selling testing machines. So let me go ahead and select a universal testing machine here. So I'm going to select the UTM 50 kilonewtons. Right. Price and everything came in great. I'm going to save it. And then again, this is a batch process. So I'm going to go and run this batch process, which is sending over this particular sales order, which is the sales order create process, to send over my sales order from CRM to my operations. So while it does that, I'm going to go back to my sales, to my CRM, and I'm going to go through a couple of things here. Number one is, let me go to field services, and a couple of minutes back we integrated the projects back into my field service in Dynamics. So let me go just search by created on. It's going to should show me something around 8:15. Yep, there we go. So that's my project. Let me go and open that project. So now this particular project is going to show me a few things. It has a project name which came from operations. It has the account it's tied to, and then of course the unique ID that came from my operations. So all looks good. So let me go and see if my sales order has been created. So let's go jump into operations. And then within operations, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say, I have created a few favorites here. So I'm just going to go to all sales orders. And let me see if my sales order is here. All right. So at the very bottom, I can see this particular sales order, 000796. Let me go and open that. All right. So we should quickly jump into service orders in a second. So a couple of things I need to do here. So I need to get this installed. So what we've done is we've allowed the individual, this is a customization we've done, to select the location, as well as, so this is the location I want to install this in, and the project, of course, for so that I can create a service order. But before I create a service order, I have a couple of steps I need to do. I need to create my customer asset in my Dynamics 365 Field Service. So for that, I need to invoice my sales order. So let's go ahead and invoice it. Let's go generate an invoice. So the invoicing process is going to go ahead and send across this update back into Dynamics. 365 sales and in field service so that the sales order is fulfilled. We of course need to run our batch process again. Let's not forget that. So let's go back into Scribe Online and let's go run the sales order update. So let's go do that. All right, let's try it. Looks good. So I'm going to run that sales order update. So it should send across my sales order update back to my Dynamics 365 sales and field service so that my sales order is completed and my customer asset should be created. So let me go ahead and go to my sales order. And then what we're going to do next is then go back into operations and actually create the service order, which will be automatically created here in Dynamics 365 Field Service. And that one would be in real time. That's because we want the field service header to be created in real time. So any brand new installation gets out of operations, while any ongoing maintenance gets out of CRM for our field service. So let me go look at orders, and let me go see if I can find that particular order. Let me just go look at the latest history. So I can see the mountain installation order. And so it's the status is set to fulfilled, which is great. So it came back in, updated, and of course it's Scribe Online running behind the scenes, helping us do this kind of integrations. So it means my asset should also be here. So I'm sorry. Let me go to my field service. Let me go to my customer assets. And then I'm just going to do a quick handover to Sailesh in a second. So looks like my asset is here, which is great because that's what I created a service order for. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Sailesh. So I'm going to make him the presenter. There could be a bit of a lag here. So just give us a second. Okay. So there we go. All right, handing over to you, Sailesh.
Thank you. Thank you, Anil. Now we will see what are the entities available in the field service. So when I click the field service, we can see a field service has the entities like work orders, there is what schedule board and the bookings for the resources. We have a dashboard called field service over here. We already seen the customer assets entity also. So there are many others we will discuss later them in depth. Moving to the active work orders. So let's check the latest work order which has been generated from the operations. The work order number is 00148. So it's now coming. So we have to check for that. And that should be for Mountain Group. And I think Anil needs to run some Scribe Online packages, so which will be creating this work order in field service. So here we see the list of the work orders which have been generated before our demo, like for North Group, West Group. We have many other clients like Max Morvan. So let me refresh once again the work orders. Oh, we see the new work order generated with the number 00149. So let me open this work order. Here, this work order, we see the number which is in the top 00149. There is this business process which has 3 stages: work order, schedule work order, and creative order. So I will not be discussing about this business process. So let me move ahead with the sections which are relevant in this work order. So we have different sections like summary, settings, service tags, product services, and which will be seen later on in this demo. So I will click on summary. So this section we see a work order number which is there already there for the account name Mountain Group, and then we have the system status below it. So what is the system status? These are the status of the work orders, and the statuses are like open, scheduled, in progress, completed. So as the work order moves some stages, it will be accordingly we will be having the system statuses. Below that we have one more field called work order type. This is for the classifications of the work order. The classifications can be according to the tasks performed at the site. If you want to install a machine, the work order type will be installed. If you want to repair it, it will be a repair, so on. So below that we have more classification for the work order. Next is the primary incident for each, and the primary incident type is install machine. So the equipment which has to be installed in the at the site, that is that address, can be seen in this incidents record. So let me open that incidents record. So in that incident record, we see that customer address asset as UTM50KN, and this is the primary, and we can see that this is for the work order 00149, and which is being created by the Scribe integration. So let's move on back to the work order. So as we have seen the summary section, let me show you the another important section is address. Yeah, address. So currently we see that at this address, this is the site address where the machine is to be installed, and I am here as a mic, as a scheduler. So we will be seeing the work order moving some the stages from creation of the work order to next as the scheduler. We will be using the schedule board, and then a technician who will be about Brown, and then again the review by the scheduler and then approving the work order. So let's move on to the schedule board. So as we can see in field service, there is an option to click schedule board. So for saving the time, I have opened a tab already for us with the schedule board. So let me refresh that so that it will get me the latest records. Okay, so we have seen this schedule board which has already have different work orders which are already running for the day, and with the different colors. See, like this color shows me that's completed one. This color shows me that this is in progress. This has been scheduled. So this is the main schedule board, and if you hover on this work order, you will get the start time, end time, and the many details on this. So this is the main schedule board section. Below that we have section for booking requirements, which has all unscheduled work orders and open cases. So we basically will be using these unscheduled work orders. There is another section to the extreme left is filter and a map view. So I will be discussing this section also later on. So I want to explain you the main section for the schedule board. This is the schedule board section, and this is a radical change from the past schedule board. Why I'm saying to this is that this is more modern look with a more flatter look. There are no borders, so which separates from the page. So that is a great feature which I like this update. And we can see on the extreme top left, we are seeing the regions wise separation. Here we have R1, R2, R3, R4, and extreme top right, as we say, R1, R2, R3, R4. Now moving to the schedule board, after we have to decide a technician which going to perform a task. So here we can see every technician has the images. So this is a more giving clarity. If you have a same technician with about Brown, you can identify them with the image also. So after you see a image, next to it is the GMT file. So this says that he is working on EST time zone for us. And we can see that there are more options for this. We have chat. So when you click this chat, it opens in Skype for Business. So you can directly chat with the technician. So here you can see a technician chat has been opened for me. So I will skip this right now and move ahead with the demo. You can even call from him from the Skype for Business, or when you click the email option, directly email can be sent to a technician. Below that we have skills. So how the technician is having the skills, like he is having a calibration skill set with average rating, electronics or embedded skill with expert ratings. Below he has a role as an expert technician in the organization. So this is what is been seen in the resource section, and which has been improved from the past field service. So here we can see there are many technicians in my company. So if you have this technicians, and if you have 16 technicians, if you want to have them paging accordingly, so this paging can be done based on the number of tens. So I want to see the technicians, so I can resources per se. This setting allows me to see how many technicians I can see in one schedule. So if I see 10, then a paging is being seen over here. You can see first 10 technicians are being shown to me. So expand. So it is showing me 1 to 10 over here. I click below, so it will show me 11 to 16. So this was the first we have seen about the resources. So great enhancements. I like this again. And then moving to the main section over here, we are seeing that a red line on this schedule board. So what is this? This is the indicative of the current time going on in my system. So it shows me that this is the current time where I can schedule next after this my work orders to this. Even we have over here past, we have seen that we have can create regions and public use name accordingly, like I have created R1, R2, R3, R4 by region wise. So coming back to this, the filter is again been enhanced. Here the filter properties are like, if you create a filter, custom filter, and you want to save it, so there is an option for it called save current filters as default. So whatever current filter you have done, that can be saved and can be loaded again and again. But if you are in between some filter and if you want to load the default filter for this public view, you can click the load default filters. And also for this view, if you wanted the predefined technicians, so you can go and click select resources. So this is the one more additional features enhanced greatly for me. Seeing now what are the filters fields available. So we can see the characters, rating and roles, new fields been added. Again, we can see teams and business units. So more filter capability is been seen here. So and when you click search, it gives me that. In filters also we have map view, which is again been improved. As I said, the color palette has been increased. The pins are been colors are been increased. So very nice feature for this, we can say. So how to enable this? So go and click always display pins, which shows me the pins. So over here, this is showing me all the resources for this public view. And I can enable this bookings and requirements by unchecking this. You can see these bookings are being shown for me. The red question marks are all requirements. Here these are the requirements, and these tick ones which are there, they are the bookings. And the pins which are been just with like this, it shows me the resource with name Edward Hills. So another feature is that if you want to locate the Edward Hills, if you just click on this, he will be disabled on the map, and when you click again, he will be enabled on the map. So another good feature we can see here. Another feature is which is there. So after seeing this, now how to increase the view of the schedule board. So here there is option for expanding the view, like expand. When you click the expand, it expands for us. When you contract, it contracts for us. But if you want to expand beyond this limit, so how we can achieve that? You can achieve by suppressing the view of the URL by clicking F11. So it occupies your whole screen. You click once again the F11, it comes back to this. So this is how you can increase your area. And then going to the assigning a work order to a technician. So let me assign a work order with number. So for this I will refresh once again so that I can see my latest work order with number 00149 for Mountain Group. So I will assign him for like 8 o'clock. So you can see this is how we can assign a work order to a technician. 00149 has been assigned. This is the feature which is by drag and drop. Also you can assign many other ways by clicking like this on the dashboard, so you can click. So this is the one of the ways which has been morely used, oftenly used by the schedulers. So you have seen this like for default 4 hours. So this default 4 hours comes from the work order. If you open a work order 00149, you can see that in the section of summary in primary incidents below, you can see the 4 hours duration is there. So which has been again gathered, and accordingly this default work order duration has been assigned to that. So you have seen a day for a schedule on the schedule board. Now the next phase will be like moving to a resource with name About Brown. So let me open the mobile app for the About Brown technicians. So that app name is Field Service Dynamics 365. So here we have sync option. Here we can sync that, and the data, real-time data comes for his, and it is a mobile app, and I'm simulating with on my laptop by using the functionality of the field service. So this can be installed on iOS and Android mobiles. So this is what it's showing, is that what data is being pushed from the CRM to this mobile app, and it has been syncing. So you have the technician can see the accounts, booking, contacts, customer assets to him. So when he clicks the booking, so this is the booking which we have seen on the dashboard been created for the technician with name About Brown. So it takes a bit of time, so you can see. Now let me check for what is my booking with number 0149. You can see a booking with number 0149 has been created for him with a booking status of schedule. So what he can see on that booking is that when he clicks on this below sections, below tabs, he can see the more details of the work order. So let me click on incident, and on that incident you can see a incident with name install machine. On the install machine we can see that equipment which has to be installed with name as UTM50KN. So this is the how the technician knows the details about my booking and the equipments needed to be done. So once he starts his works, he changes the status to booking status to in progress. So resource is About Brown. So you can see here the start time was 8:15. He actually arrived at 8:34. Maybe that he is changing his time. So let me change it to 8:20. He is reaching at 8:20, and just let me save for him. So once he saves that, this is what is like he has started his work on the site. So he has been working on the site. So maybe like after some hours he has finished it. So after finishing the work, the tasks which are done on the site, he has some notes to be written on that. So he can go on more and write his notes by clicking on notes, and his any comments or any data he wants, like he want to say that he found a part faulty part at the site, and he can save this, or he wants to add the image of the faulty part, so he can go and click. He can capture the picture, or he can choose a picture if he has already taken from there. So let me select and choose a picture. He goes and there selects this faulty picture and save this, and he wants to write any notes from a file or a report for him. So also he can do this by going again selecting select, and he can say like detailed report for the part, and he can click again here and he can select a file. So I will select this as a file which has been saved over here. So you can see there are many more other functions, like you can select you can do a video recording, you can do audio recording. So all this data will be pushed to the CRM into the real time, which we can see also. So once he has done finished with everything, the last thing what is that getting the work signature from the client, that I have finished my task. So what he will do, he will go to notes and again say like signature from client. So I am saying the signature from client and he will select the signature. So he is going to click a signature. So it's, our client is going to sign for him that okay, authorize the person has done his work. So he has signed for that. So once the client has authorized that yes, he has done the work. So what is next? So he goes and finishes the parts which are been added for this task. So by he can do by going to more products. So let me add a product which has been used at the site like G20. So this is the part which I used at the site for my this work order. So with quantity 1 and which has been used. So this is something which we can customize more. So it goes on and say click. So save. So this work order product will be added to my work order by real time. So I have finished adding a work order. Other thing is that he has want to add the services. So these services will be added like he is adding his daily service charges for a duration of like for 2 hours. So he has added for 2 hours and then just save it. So all this data will be pushed in real time to the CRM. So once this work order is finished and a technician has marked to complete it. So let's move on to the schedule board. I will take you back to the CRM and these things can be seen to uh, about, and then this data can be seen as refreshed and we can see that completed and he can review that work order. So for reviewing the work order, the scheduler goes to the work order and he will, let me again refresh this work order. So I will just click on 0149. So we will check on the real time what has happened to this work orders. Like he can check any notes been added by the technicians. So you can see my technician has added a signature, client detailed report for the part and so on. Again, that what parts he has used at the site, so he can go in parts and check, oh, he has used the one quantity and with this amount. Okay, let me check what services he has done over there. Okay, let me check, he has done 2 hours. But this is the amount part is been always kept away from the technician and he adds like this amount is based on the customer. So he added like he should be charged like $200 for 2 hours. So after doing this, he reviews that and he's click save, and this we can see that this has been used. So he will go to the work order. So now the review part has been finished and we can see that. So usually this will be completed status. So this takes some background time. So this has been done. Okay, so now let's take, this has been completed and what is next? Next is that he will approve this work order. So for this he has to mark it as approve and then say yes, and this work order will be pushed in real time in the operations. So let me, Anil will do the next steps. So we will avoid this. Okay, so this is due to some, this is happening. So let me change this status. Here this is in progress, so let me change that. This is the checks, some checks by field service software for us, and then let's move on to the work order. So I will go to the work order and mark this as approved, and then this work order will be pushed and with the updates to the operations. So I will hand over to the Anil and he will guide us with the next steps. And also we will be seeing the Power BI. So the steps will be carried on in the background. So I will move on you to the dashboards of Power BI which we have created. This is a custom dashboards we have created for us. So let's see the dashboards. we have the dashboard with name as work order status. So what is this dashboard actually give us? This dashboard give me actual numbers of the work order. Like for scheduled status, we have 32 work orders. For completed status, we have 14, in progress with 13, and so on. So then it gives the bifurcation of the work orders by region wise. As we have seen in the schedule board, we have the regions like R1, R2, R3, R4.
So Sailesh, a quick comment. The dashboard that you're showing here is basically something that we've created based on some of our experience. But I understand that there could be any type of dashboard because you're connecting all this analytics. You're collecting all this analytics information and everything from looking at ongoing work orders to work orders by different region to seeing technicians on what work orders, any contracts that are due for renewal, and then finally, different statuses by work orders. You can design further KPIs, average time to complete a work order, average time to schedule a work order, anything that is relevant to a service organization to really know, eventually the key performance indicators that is going to drive to good field service. All of us are used to expecting good services today. So these KPIs and these dashboards allow our managers and our team to operate in an efficient manner. So I also understand that you can drill down into any of these. So maybe we can quickly go into that. So the idea with Power BI is that it gives you further drill down capabilities. So Sailesh just clicked on um, the one of the main what do you call the pie charts, and now he's into the report itself, and then he can now, let's say he just wants to analyze by region which of the work orders are in progress. So he's going to click on the in progress, and what that does is it's going to show him by region on the right hand side which work orders are in progress, and underneath that is going to show him which orders are in progress by technician. And then of course on the left hand side he can further select any other filter criteria. You can also export this out into a report or into an Excel. So you have that flexibility with Power BI analytics embedded now inside of your Dynamics 365 field service, sales, whatever you use. And it's one of the new features that actually released very recently, early last month. All right, so Sailesh, you can make me the presenter, and then I'm going to jump into the field service side, right? Right. All right, so once I become the presenter, I'm just going to quickly jump into operations, and then we can talk about what's coming up next. All right, so let me know once you guys see my screen. All right, so I just ran the batch process to send over the service order lines into my operation. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh, and then I'm going to go ahead and open this service order. So I can see that my item and my fee both came into my service order. So this is how the integration works end to end. Now there are several other things we haven't gone into. We don't have time for today, but that involves sending over any purchase acquisition. So the field service technician is out on the field, doesn't have a part, needs to send a back order to get that part shipped to his particular van. So that transfer order process can also be handled between your field service and your operations. And then you can also keep track of inventory for each of your technicians within your Dynamics 365 field service. So all in all, it gives you all aspects that you eventually need to run your business. And the technicians are always operating from their mobile devices or their laptops or their Surface tablets. And the dispatcher is typically operating with large screens where they have access to the schedule board and they can look at everything to schedule. All right, so I'm going to jump back into my slide deck now. I think we're nearing the end of our session. All right, so we've gone through the field service, we've gone through work order creation, how the entire process works, and then gone from creating a work order, scheduling it, working through it, adding some notes, attachments, etc., and then actually completing it and then sending it back across to our billing. We've seen what a schedule board looks like. Sailesh went through some very new features that came out last month, some very good features that allow us to have more control, a scheduler to quickly navigate and do what they need to do, which is schedule people, move things around, call people if they need to, chat with a technician who's out in the field, just do things quickly. And then finally, we looked at the Power BI dashboard we created recently for one of our customers, but we also created for the demo. And just the flavors of that dashboard are phenomenal because you have captured all data points from the time a work order got created till it got completed. So you could really be doing a lot more KPIs with it and understanding how your business is doing, how your technicians are doing, who's the fastest, who's the slowest, which kind of issues come up, what incident types come. Just there's a lot of metrics that can drive a good field service experience for your customers. So with that said, we're going to have a next webinar coming up in early January, which is going to focus on some new features. One is Glimpse. So Glimpse is again a new feature that came out with this release early this month, which allows you to actually see in real time the location of all the technicians based on their GPS coordinates. So you can see actually who's the closest and even make real-time decisions. Second is resource schedule optimization. So the resource scheduling optimization actually allows you to automate certain aspects of scheduling, so the system can give you options or give you suggestions on who you can schedule based on predetermined criteria like workloads, proximity to your service location, skill set, so on and so forth. So we're going to go through that. Number 3 is integration with Outlook. So we're going to see how the calendar can integrate with Outlook as well, so that your technician who's out in the field also gets this on his calendar. And we all are used to looking at our Outlook, whether it's on our mobile phone or on our laptop. So it's already part of their Outlook. And then finally, we're looking at some scheduling resource requirements and custom entities, like for example, you want to schedule people on a case, a break fix kind of a service support case. We're going to look at that as well. And then finally, one aspect we're going to look into is a quick introduction into connected field service. Connected field service is a new feature that was released earlier this month. With connected field service, you're then able to sort of bring in IoT into this field service functionality. We're going to look at an introduction, and then in February, early Feb or mid-Feb, we're actually going to go through an end-to-end cycle of how connected field service can benefit field service organizations. And that's, I think, about it. We're just in time. We have a few more minutes. Some of our contact info, the PowerPoint deck, and the webinar recording will be on our website by tomorrow. But if you have any questions, you can always reach us at info@cloudfronts.com. My email ID is ashah@cloudfronts.com. Sailesh is SWATH@cloudfronts.com. So we are always here and ready to help. So we'll wait for any questions. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the session. And thank you very much for attending. Looks like there are no questions, so we're good. Look forward to the webinar recording available to you soon. And have a good week ahead, and happy holidays. Thank you. Bye.